Starflight is the name of my 5-year-old daughter's 3D printed Chinese dragon. And Starflight's daughter is Luna. And there's also, the toy Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. And then there's a rubber dragon named Frank. Why am I mentioning this? My daughter and I were playing together with her toys before school this morning, and she keeps getting annoyed with me for not remembering the names of these various dragons. And in my mind, I'm like, why does it matter, right? These are toys. But my failure to remember the names of these dragons meant that I wasn't as invested in the game as she was. And she knew it, right? Even as a 5-year-old, part of me was somewhere else. I was just thinking about other things. Maybe, how the day's going to go, everything. So I got my head in the game. Like, I put aside all my other priorities, and I treated each one of these dragons as entities with their own personal lives and perspectives. And the trade-off for doing that was that instead of just playing this game as a favor to my daughter, or as, an accumulation of dad points, I started actually having fun, right? So much so that we were almost late for school. And it's preschool, right? Who cares? So what? It's just a reminder for anybody who needs it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you super zoom in and prioritize on something, you kind of realize, oh yeah, this isn't just I shouldn't treat this thing necessarily just as a means to some end, but just really lose yourself in it sometimes. And this is this is the wisdom that children, I think, remind us to embrace. Family, we're in the fear inoculum era of Tool. And we're going to a song that I think I might have missed, Culling Voices. Guys, let's get right into it without any further ado. Let's go ahead and let them cook. Cook, sir! Definitely movie production intro. Expand this a little bit. Definitely opening psychological thriller movie credits vibes. Guys, imagining not hearing Tool for 10 to 13 years. I mean, when was their last album dropped prior to Fear Inoculum? It was over a decade. I know that, right? Imagine, wondering where they went, wondering where they'd been, and then, you turn this on and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Tool is a trip when you follow the trajectory of their history,
Disembodied voices deep in mind, suspicious tendencies.
Disembodied voices deepen my suspicious tendencies. Fam, I think it was the last Tool song that we covered on this channel where I recommended Dr. John Vervaeke when he's doing a lecture series on beauty and what beauty actually is. And he talks about the hermeneutics of suspicion, that we live kind of under the hermeneutics of suspicion as a result of, Marx and Freud and Nietzsche, who told us, don't trust your senses, everything is kind of an illusion that's kind of tricking you into. And we live kind of, under the hermeneutics of suspicion. Maynard leads in by saying disembodied voices, which are thoughts, these are mental objects, deepen my suspicious tendencies. Talk to me about it. Suspicion.
Conversation we've never had. Imaginal.
Only Maynard does this, right? Imagined interplay. Right? He does this weird thing with his voice. It's like he's just dancing with it as he's singing. And I don't know. I mean, those of you who've been to Tool concerts, I've yet to let me know in the comments, those of you who've been to Tool concerts, does he do that imaginative play in real time, or does he stick to how it sounds in the song when he's doing a concert? Let me know.
Psychopathy, don't you dare point that at me.
Ooh. Damn. Guys, any of you men who are married, you know exactly what that line means. Heated altercations we've never had. Fellas, let me know if your wife ever woke up from a dream and is mad at you because of something you did in the dream. Guys, these are the power of thoughts, right? Let's let them cook. I want to sing to that. Ooh. See, he's saying, I'm guided by them all. We've never had them, or so I'm told, yet I'm guided by them all. This is a very, very dark thing. He's inviting us to remember that which guides our lives is mostly in your head, right? Most of your motivated expectations about the future and your memories about the past, it's all up here. And it doesn't necessarily match reality, He keeps mentioning psychopathy, too. And that's one of man's greatest fears, along with abandonment and death. Is it abandonment or is it rejection? The three man's greatest fear. I think it's rejection, death, and psychopathy. Well, it's not psychopathy necessarily, but insanity, right? Which is similar.
Judge, condemn, and banish any and everyone without evidence. Only the whispers from psychopathy. Misleading me over and over. Psychopathy. Misleading me over and over and over.
Guys, psychopathy is different than sociopathy. Psychopathy is, well, let me consult the oracle so that I don't. What is psychopathy?
Psychopathy is a personality disorder characterized by a persistent pattern of behaviors like lack of empathy, superficial charm, manipulativeness, and disregard for others' rights.
Right. Psychopathy. This is what happens when you give in to, what Maynard calls the voices in your head, right? When you take the mental objects a bit too seriously, when you take them literally, let's say. Guys, let me know if you would agree, right? You know how Dr. Dre released 2001 where he just did the instrumentals? I wouldn't be mad at all if they just did like an instrumental form of all of their records, if Tool did, right? It's such a beautiful thing and a joyous thing to listen to. Also, I wouldn't mind if drums didn't come in at all. Listening to Maynard sing over just this, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very easy on the ears. Sonically, I'm appreciating this, and we're just about halfway through the track. Imaginal. What's the difference between the imaginal and the imagination? Because they're not the same thing. See, I'm telling you, man, you guys gotta wake up to John Vervaeke's Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. He talks about the distinction between the imagination and the imaginal, and it's escaping me right now. But imaginal interplay. He's mentioned this line a lot, the "don't you dare point that at me." And I've been wondering a little bit, what is he worried about being pointed at him? Like, what am I not supposed to point at you? What are you talking about, Maynard? But he's been talking about psychopathy. So maybe it's a negative feedback loop. It's something like, as the psychopathy takes over, you get offended at that term being pointed at you, right? As you succumb to these mental objects, these thoughts, and become more dogmatic and more psychopathic, you are less and less capable of hearing that's what you're becoming, right? Don't you dare point that at me. But as the Oracle says, psychopathy is the tendency to, disregard someone else's feelings. So maybe that's the thing you don't want pointed at you, the perspective of the other, right? It's all about me. It's all, it's almost like a solipsism, right? Let's continue to let them cook. That's fire. See, they're introducing those drums, but they're doing it subtly. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave it to Tool to completely embody the feeling, right? They just do it right over and over and over again. It's like, Tool is for those who like a 5-star restaurant experience with music. Oh, shoot. Did I mute it? There we go. No. I can't miss anything. I can't miss any of that transition. I'm going to go back a couple bars. Ooh, that's sick. Oh. This is giving me middle, like, I don't want to say Middle Eastern. I want to say, like, Indian, kind of. Family, do you see the narrowing process here? It started with "don't you dare point that at me," and now he's saying "don't you dare, don't you dare," as opposed to the entire line "don't you dare point that at me." Because, you know, when you're offended, when you're triggerable, right, which is not to say, you know, certain things, you know, hear me out, the "don't you dare point that at me" just becomes a "don't you dare" overall, right? This is my world, and you are just an object within it, right? Don't you dare try to, show yourself as, you know, someone who has any capacity to change the way that I see things, right? This attitude kind of makes you a shell. It makes you impossible to live around. The "don't you dare do X" and "don't you dare do X," that can just kind of implode on itself and make you a "don't you dare." Just, you know, the audacity to do anything in opposition to what you expect. Oh, yeah. And we go right back to that beginning. That sound in the beginning. That sounded like opening feature film credits. Family, it's been said that, when you're fasting, let's say you've been fasting for a week. Let's say you haven't eaten anything for an entire week. They say that it's bad after that week to indulge in, like, don't don't start your eating process again with like a steak or a cheeseburger or something crazy, right? Your body kind of needs to reacclimate. And so you want to start with something more gentle on the stomach, like a soup, or like a something, just, and then work your way back up so that your body can acclimate. I feel like this song, because half of it didn't have that crazy drum and the crazy, it was just, it was almost just like a, like a cleanse. I love how they slowly and incrementally reintroduced the heavy stuff at the end. That one was dope. And it seems to be, I mean, I don't know what the word culling means. That's like not in my vocab. But it seems to be about psychopathy slowly taking over as a result of being triggerable, as a result of not allowing oppositional voices to, participate in the conversation. I mean, let me know in the comments below. Definitely correspond with me in the chat, family. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Definitely hit the hype button if that option is available. And we'll see you next time, fam.